Hello everyone, I'm Sandesh Koirala, and for the class project, me and my friend Saurab Siwakoti have been building a machine learning model that can detect machine generated fake news. Before I go ahead and demo the model itself, I want to talk to you guys about fake news. So what fake news means is that if you go ahead and search for machine generated text on Google, you can find hundreds of such models that can build strings of text based on the input that you provide. So I'll go ahead and show you some models that create fake text based on the string of text that you input. Here's one of those models. So what we're going to do is we're going to input Donald Trump won re-election 2020, and we'll submit and see what this model does. Anyone with internet access can go ahead and create a bunch of fake string and spread it over the internet. This can be used to produce fake information. So you can see that these models are really vulnerable. So we came up with this idea of building a natural language processing model to detect machine generated news such as this one, and we can now move on to the model that we created. So we built this model on Python. Here, let me explain to you what this model does. We import some libraries from sklearn for machine learning. We also import natural language processing toolkit from Python. We import pandas for data pre-processing. We also import regular expression. Now we import the dataset that we will use for the model to learn. We obtain this model from Kaggle. We import the data and save it as content train.csv on our machine. So as you can see here, we saved our data as a pandas data frame. Our data has 5 columns. The first one is ID column. The second one has the title of the news. Third one is the author of the news. The fourth one is the text from the news, and the fifth one is the label. Here you can see some sample rows from our dataset. The dataset has 20,800 data. The ID column is just an ID for each news text. The title column has the title for the news. The author column has the author for the news. The text column is where the news string is, and the label means either the news is fake or not. This one you can see here is 1, means that this news is not fake, whereas this one here 0, this one's a fake news. Now we'll apply a bunch of pre-processing on the dataset we acquired. We'll look at the number of rows that has null data. Here the ID row has 0 null data, the title row has 558, the author row has 1957 null data, the text row has 39. We don't really care about the author and title being null, but if there's any row that has the text column is null, we cannot use that to train the model. So we're dropping all the rows here that have null as the data on the text field. So after dropping all the null data, what we get is a 20,203 row of data set that does not have any null data on the text field. After that, we remove the rows that are duplicate of another rows on the dataset. Here, after removing the duplicate dataset, we see 19,868 rows of data that do not have any duplicate within itself. After we drop the duplicate rows, we concatenate the title and text into a single column here as title text. After that, we will drop the ID column, authors column, text column, and title column, because these do not provide any significant information after we created this column. So here, this is our final data that will be used to train our model. This has the label column and title text column. This text contains the title and the text of the news, and this one identifies if the news is fake or not fake. Now we have written this function. What this function basically does is it cleans the text and removes all these punctuation marks and stop words from our text. So a stop word is a word that does not provide any meaning on literature. Some of the stop words are I, am, is, or they do not provide any significant meaning to the text. So we remove all those words from this column. So what we end up with is this bunch of text that does not have any punctuation marks and stop words. Now it is important that we understand that machine learning model cannot be trained on text data. So what we need to do is we need to convert this text data into some sort of integers or vectors so our machine learning models can learn from these data. So what we did was we imported several different vectorizer methods from sklearn. So what this count vectorizer method does is it creates a vector with the frequency of each word appearing in the text. As you can see that we have also applied TF-IDF vectorizer. What this one does is that with creating all the frequencies of words in the text, this one also takes into consideration the weights of the words in the text. After many trial runs with the data, we realized that the TF-IDF vectorizer was producing better results, so we decided to go with the TF-IDF vectorizer, and we set the label column as the y-axis for the training model.
Hello, this is Saurab. I'm going to talk about model creation and the demonstration part. Let's move into model creation. You can see that we divided the data into trained data and test data. After that, we applied several classifier models on the data to see which one performed better. After applying many classifiers, we realized that this support vector machine was more accurate on predicting the results with 95% accuracy. That is why we decided to go with this linear support vector machine as our training model. We ran some more tests here and then tuned the parameters for optimum accuracy. Here we apply different methods to tune the parameters. Now here's where you can see the final product. Now let me show you how this works. So what we did is we've created a function predict text that should be over here. Now what this function does is it takes the input as text and then removes the stop words like we did for the training data, and then it predicts the output with the model. And if the output is 0, it prints the text is machine generated, or else if the output is 1, function prints the text is written by humans. Now we're going to create a string of text and then pass the text to the function predict text and see what it does. So we're going to use the same text that we generated earlier from a fake text generator, and I'm going to copy this and paste it here and run the function. Here it says whether the text is machine generated. We're going to call this function with other text that was not generated by machines. So here I have this editorial from Shorthorn open on my browser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and paste it right here and call the function. There we go. You can see the text was written by humans. So that's all for our demo. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.